Hey guys, it's me again. Before we get started, just a friendly reminder, our friends at Shop Callie's open their new location in Rhino tomorrow. If you want to know more about their locations in North Glen and or the one in Mid-City around West 8th, check their website, www.shopcallies.com. That's SHOPPE, Callies, CALLIES. You can find them under the same name on Instagram, and they're very quick to respond as well. But yes, they open this Friday. Fantastic weed grown here, not that shitty mass-grown, mass-produced stuff. They got you covered. I vouch for them 100%. That's why we partnered with them. We love them. Zane, give me the music, give me some vibes. Let's have a killer episode.
The suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradans, and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Wheaties! I got Wheatie Bucks!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kip with another week of Stone Appetit. As always, it's today, actually. Chris will be back next episode. But on this episode, Chris is not joining us, but we are coming to you from happy hour down in the free market. As y'all know, Bruto kills it, from the tortas to the cocktails, and really the whole neighborhood is fucking popping. Everybody's kind of back up and going. All-Star Game is coming down the about a month away, and so the neighborhood's starting to flex. We're back at the 100% capacity. You don't have to have a mask if you have a vaccine or if you lie about it. Either way, you're welcome without a mask. But we're coming to you down here from, as always, the free market. We love it down here. We've got a great crew that is serving up cocktails and food. And today we have a great guest. Some of y'all may know him from social media. Some of y'all may know him from his connections with the cannabis world. And some of y'all may know him from his food adventures and eats. We're talking to MattyEaats today.
Yeah.
Matt, we don't even know your fucking last name. We just know your IG page at MattyEaats.
That's right.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's the last name?
It's Selsky.
Selsky, Matt.
Yeah, nice
Selsky.
Jewish boy from New York.
Oh, well,
I'm
that
here.
answers my next question.
I'm here.
You ruined the first question of the
I'm
podcast. Fuck, Matt.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. We'll allow it. All right, so the first question usually is, are you a transplant or a native? But really what we're here to do is we're here to learn a little bit more, not only about your gig, but also about you yourself. So, cool. Transplant or native?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a transplant. Here
That's
from
very apparent right now.
Yeah, from New York City. Lived there for quite some time and ended up
You don't have the accent of the northeastern asshole.
You don't think I got it? Maybe
I don't know. You said time kind of like it, but not really.
Give me a little bit more time, and maybe that accent will kind of,
Well, what brought you west?
Unfortunately, a divorce had brought me west, and I'm okay to kind of speak about it. But yeah, that
was a loaded answer. I did not see that coming.
A divorce, man, a divorce.
I thought you were going to be like cannabis or marketing for businesses.
It didn't, man. It didn't. It was actually that. And
I'm sorry to laugh at.
And it's okay, man. We can all laugh because it's just how it goes, and it's been a beautiful experience out here so far. Just about a year, and the brands that I've worked with already have just been incredible, and the people here. So yeah,
so
transplant.
You legitimately came out here in the midst of a COVID pandemic, where let's say because you were married, and then it ended up actually going south.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to stick around.
That's right. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing, and I was going to progress in a way that is, beneficial to my mental health, which is just staying busy. And constantly staying busy. And so when I came out here, I just kind of, worked my skills out here, and it's just worked out really nicely.
So when you say work your skills, let's tell everybody a little bit about it. So we actually were introduced, I think Chef David from Right Cream may have put us in contact, or at least put us on each other's radar.
Sure.
And then, but what is it that you do? Obviously you have the account
and that's
MattyEaats.
that's the biggest question, and everyone asks it. So,
are you a broker?
No, am I a broker? No. I am a marketing and branding specialist, so I work with partnerships mostly, kind of connecting one company or one brand with the other, and mostly by way of pop-ups, or I'll come in, I'll do merchandising runs, I'll do hats and clothing for restaurants and brands.
So you do graphic design as well.
So I have a partner who does my graphic work for me, but I'm kind of just like the liaison. I kind of like just kind of work everything together, and I connect, brands and make shit happen.
Hey, that's what's up. I'm glad you found your niche that works for you as well as in the market, because as we can see from the products before us, and for those that can see it on social media, you do have some friends in some high places and with some very reputable brands and companies.
Sure.
Let us know, how'd you kind of find this industry? How'd you find your way into this position?
Yeah, so I am a partner at a clothing brand in New York. We started in New York in 2008. It's called Ethic Clothing. And we have 5 stores now. We're in 15 wholesale accounts. So that's kind of what got me into the world of branding and marketing. I used to seed product from everyone, from Justin Bieber to my client, Travis McCoy from the Gym Class Heroes. So from that, it kind of just escalated and elevated into something more wholesome. And I was kind of just like, let me just start my own agency. Let me start my own branding agency. Let me start my own marketing agency, and just through clients that I've had and the reputation that I've held, it's been really something else. But the clothing industry, Ethic Clothing, has really kicked me off.
So that's you started in apparel wear, and obviously a little bit of graphic work that sexy brands were like, oh, these guys slap, they can they can make us look more appealing than we may otherwise be.
Yeah.
And then now here you are, running shop for a large group of companies.
Oh yeah, that's my back. That's on the back burner, but that's what basically got me into the industry. That's how I met Travis McCoy, my best friend and client, and so I work on a lot of projects for him as well. But that's how I was introduced to a lot of famous people, people in high places.
I love that way of describing it. Well, it's not just that. You have a strong work ethic. It seems like you're out there, grinding your fucking dick off.
Networking,
Networking, yes. That's what the term we'll use is. But yeah, so you've kind of amassed a little bit of a crew here, but you also work with some of the brands. Give us a seamless little plug for those that want to follow you, but also, what you may bring to the table for companies and restaurants and things of that nature, businesses in Denver that may be intrigued.
Sure. So I have something coming up actually with some guys called Dead Veggies, and they're over at the Made Us pop-up in Denver. They're there almost every weekend.
Made by Us Denver is the new, for those that you've probably seen on my page, but it's the group, it's the co-op group that does the once was that free market, or the other market, where they pop up actually in the alley here in the dairy block, but also around Denver. And it's a bunch of small businesses. Dead Veggies is one of those that pickles vegetables. They have a bunch of different varieties, but continue on.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a project that I've been working on with Dead Veggies. So that's a brand that I kind of have locked in here, and I have a very nice relationship with. Matt over there is a really good guy, and so we're curating a Bloody Mary mix. So it's going to be a Matty's Bloody Mary mix. And
is that your cocktail of choice?
It is, yeah, big Bloody Mary guy. So we're going to be, serving that actually at a family and friends event with another client of mine in Boulder called I Love White Label. They're a white label processing company, and they work with clients such as Wana, Birth Jays, a few others, and they have an in-house grow. So we're going to be over there debuting our Bloody Mary mix pop. It's almost going to be like a pop-up, and I'm going to have my own bottles, labels, stuff like that. So that's another project collaboration with a Denver-based brand.
So is the objective now to kind of shift the project or the company's dynamic from going to a material objects and goods to more of a consumable, whether it be cannabis, food, hot sauces, Bloody Mary mixes? Are we seeing a shift in what your company is doing, or are we going to keep a bunch of irons in different fires?
Yeah, so since the pandemic, things have changed drastically, all right?
I get it.
And so...
We amongst you.
Yeah, and a big thing, and so I'll give you an example, is that when all this hit in March, I had started a bagel business called Blythe Bagels with my ex-wife. Everyone was, kind of locked in, obviously, on the internet, and they're just focused on buying and supporting local and small. So we decided to start a bagel business called Blythe Bagels. Couldn't keep up. It was just out of control. So I think that the way, just the way that things are heading and how it's working out right now, I think kind of shit. I lost my.
No, that's cool. Yeah. No, you're groovy. You're groovy.
Right,
We're good. That's what cannabis does. I got you. It's okay. It's
all right.
Okay. This is what this podcast does.
Right.
Yeah, so we were talking about like the paradigm shift of, obviously the market has changed with COVID has made companies and people pivot. And so I was asking, are you shifting to the food scene because you saw that spike from the Blythe Bagels? Or what is this going forward?
Yeah,
Will we still be working in branding and aspects? What's going on next?
Yeah, I will be. So I stay focused on branding, but I'm mostly focused now in the food world. I've always been interested in just that foodie, just kind of exploring new spots, especially in New York City, being, the hub and the melting pot of almost all types of cuisines. So, yeah, I just wanted to shift my focus on that. Before that, I was mostly focused on music, working with clients. I worked in Atlantic. So I was constantly A&Ring, constantly working in that field. Pandemic hit, started the bagel business, and that's what it was all about for me.
Hey, man, it's not a bad shift. Obviously, it was kind of an interesting dynamic for everybody during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So being able to land on your feet, not only personally life, but professional life with 2 pivots in Denver is fantastic.
Grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah, very blessed.
I think it's probably a kudos to the work ethic as well, so I'll give you that.
Needed that.
Yeah. Well, so riddle me this. Is it Colorado-centric? Are we working with brands around the country? Because, obviously my reach is fucking huge.
Yeah.
So people all over the country are listening to this. I just burped up a little bit of the hot sauce and wine. That's not that. Possibly inedible, too. I guess this would be a good time to plug our earlier sponsor, Callie's Shop, the newest cannabis recreational store in Rhino. They have locations in North Glen, and they've just opened their other location on 8th.
Nice.
Right next to Inca. They have the best cannabis that you can buy over the counter without going black market.
Yeah.
That's the best flower you can get is their shit. I guarantee it. And then they also have great bud tenders and friendly stuff, as y'all heard Charles talk about last week. So that belch may have come from an edible I got from them and or a fireball that we smoked earlier. So sorry about that. Question was, what's the footprint? Are we staying in Colorado? Are we going to work centric with? Are we going to try to kind of plant our flag here? Are we going to be a nationwide brand as a New Yorker that probably is a jet setter as well?
Yeah, the focus is going to be primarily between here and New York, just because I've had projects that have just been everlasting, and I don't want to really lose those. So constantly working with New York brands. And also going to be a little bit more focused now on some Colorado as well. I'm not necessarily working in the flat, like anything necessary. Like I work mostly with merchandising when I'm working in the cannabis industry, so I kind of focus on merch deals. So I had a recent deal with in Boulder. I Love White Label, who also has a dispensary on site. And that's where I'm going to be doing that family and friends event with Dead Veggies. But again, just maintaining certain relationships here I feel like is super important. And with the right people, obviously, always.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. Getting more entrenched into the cannabis industry, no matter the aspect, and also the culinary scenes. I'm obviously biased as someone that we consider ourselves the intersect of those 2 markets here in this community. But this is the place to do that. Restaurateurs, as you're coming from New York, so are these chefs, so are these concepts. A lot of people, Tommy Lee has the best ramen in town, and it oftentimes you can see kind of reflects some geniuses that come from L.A. and New York and those ideas.
Sure.
And so you see these chefs, Chef Kelly Whitaker he was based out of L.A., and then came to Denver to open up his shop. You see these chefs are doing
They
that,
are.
and then cannabis, we're obviously kind of in that foothold. So there is not a better place to be.
Not at all.
Plant your seeds.
Yeah, so
metaphorically speaking, but also great fun by them.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, I'm. It's been a real great ride out here, and I'm really super blessed with the feedback that I've been getting. It's all positive.
That's what I like to hear. All right, so quickly, before we navigate into just the casual conversation of tomfoolery, favorite restaurants, because I feel like this segment is going to go 30, 45